Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Ball Metal Nerd coming at you with another video. This is part 2 in my series of what I'm doing for basically, I've decided to talk about all of the out of support officially by Microsoft Windows operating systems and see what modern tasks we can do on them. Obviously, this is only the second part of the series, so we're still on Windows 98, which of course is basically a museum piece like Windows 95. As we go through this series, though, we're obviously going to get into much more modern operating systems just to see what we can do with them. And the reason I have Windows 98 Second Edition on this instead of the first is I wanted to basically give the most updated version so it would have the best chance to work with stuff, and just to also to show that throughout history Microsoft has continually iterated on their operating systems. This did not just start with a new release of Windows 10 every 6 months. They have long done similar things, so that's why we're going with this. In the first part of this series I did Windows 95, and I didn't talk too much about where I was and what I was doing when Windows 95 was, actually in the world, and most people were using it. Windows 95 debuted when I was in high school, and I heavily used Windows 95 in high school and in college. Um, I met Windows 95 is really the first computer where I started meeting a lot of people because of the internet. Early on through like chat rooms and like AOL Instant Messenger. Did a lot of that on Windows 95. I also did a lot of, you know, early VoIP programs, all kinds of crazy stuff back in the day with Windows 95. So that's basically was the time period of my life when Windows 95 was a heavily used operating system by me. Windows 98, I started using that a lot. Actually, interestingly, after I moved out of my parents' home, the first computer that I bought on my own, desktop that I bought on my own, was a Compaq something that came with Windows 98 Second Edition, I believe, and I used that for some years. So here we are. That gives you an idea of where I was in life when this was a big deal. So let's go ahead and dive into it, and let's start trying some modern tasks in Windows 98. The first thing we're going to try out, of course, is, well, you're watching me on YouTube, so let's see if we can get YouTube to work on this thing. I did get a few different browsers than what I managed to get working in Windows 95. Let's see what we got here. So for Firefox, we've got version 8, which is obviously a pretty old version at this point. So let's go ahead and try to go to YouTube and see what happens. And I get a please update your browser, along with some bizarre lettering over here. I'll click remind me later. And we do get a sort of a website, whatever. If I click on a video, I suspect nothing at all is going to happen. Let's go ahead and do it. Click on this Bobcat video. Hey, fabulous. Can I read comments? No. All I can see is a whole bunch of bizarre lettering and not much else. So YouTube is obviously functionally useless in this browser. So, I mean, I can technically get to the website, but it's not all that useful. Let's try Opera out here. And I suspect we're going to get the same performance in this that we're getting in... Oh, that's a funny movie. What's the worst that can happen? I watched that not too long ago here on YouTube. So... And nothing's happening here either. So fabulous. All right. Well, we have a newer version of Internet Explorer to kick around this time. We have a huge upgrade to Internet Explorer version 6. I know. I'm as excited as you are. So let's go ahead and try out YouTube here. And it doesn't even load in Internet Explorer 6. So clearly we can see that YouTube is a gigantic fail in this one. So next we're going to try out Netflix. Sorry guys, that was an edit point because I forgot that you get a small amount of personal information when you log into Netflix. It'll show like your name and your family member's name, so I wanted to edit that out. So right now I'm on my daughter's profile, and because when I couldn't click through into my profile or any of my stuff because it kept asking for my PIN, didn't quite work. But we're seeing something here that we never could have dreamt of in Windows 95. It actually attempts to play the video. But I'm going to go ahead and hit install now for the Silverlight plugin, and you'll see kind of what the issue is here. So I'm going to save that as we wait in real time. I'll show you, this is what happens when you click a title in Opera. You get literally nothing. And Netflix doesn't work at all in Internet Explorer. Unsurprisingly, Internet Explorer, again, a complete failure. It was a complete failure then. It's a complete failure. All right, I'll stop picking on poor Internet Explorer. So just give it a few more seconds to download Silverlight. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to get somewhere. Oh, I'm going to get somewhere. Well, maybe not. So, yep. Silverlight doesn't work in Windows 98. So, yeah, sure. All right, great. So, obviously, Netflix, yes, we could do a little bit more in Windows 98, but not much more. So, clearly, Netflix, I know, surprises you just as much as me, is a failure in Windows 98. I know. So, let's go ahead and we'll try some streaming music. So, we'll try Spotify now. See what happens. We'll try it in the 3 browsers here. And we'll try it in, I'm assuming Internet Explorer is just going to fail. Unsurprisingly, nothing happens with Internet Explorer. But, hey, look at this. In Firefox, we get something. We get links to, let's see, is there, oh, US/download. I'm betting that's probably their, their Windows app. What the hell, we'll download that. We'll run it. I'm betting, yep, nope. Unsurprisingly, the Spotify Windows app is not compatible with Windows 98. I know, shocking, right? Absolutely shocking. So, let's see here. US download. This takes us to US sign up. Ooh, account overview. See what that does. Will it take me to a sign in? It does take me to a sign in of some sort. But you know what? Judging by this, I can pretty much guarantee that, well, at least, hey, look at that. Proper English characters in Opera, but you go to log into Spotify and it fails. So, Opera is a fail. This is probably a fail, but what I'm going to do, guys, actually, real quick is, again, this is some real-time reactions to this. This is going to be another edit point. I'm actually going to have to try to track down my Spotify login info if I can. Actually try to log into this thing, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, guys, well, I did manage to track down my Spotify password. What's interesting is I don't think I'm going to be able to log into it. Let me show you guys why here. I'm hitting the letter A on my keyboard, but I'm getting the letter D. S is giving me V. F is giving me I. Completely random, right? But I go up here to this new tab, A, S, D, F, correct letters. So that is truly bizarre. Not something I remotely expected. I'm sure it has to do with the HTML and God only knows. So Spotify clearly does not work on Windows 98. Again, shocking. So let's try Pandora. Okay. Pandora doesn't want to load in Firefox. Let's try our good friend here. Internet Explorer 6, unsurprisingly, it's a failure. Let's try Opera. We'll do a Google search for Pandora. Why not? Let's click it. Nothing. Okay. So it can't do the HTTPS of Pandora. So, fail, 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 fail. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to do some CD ripping. And I can get Windows 98 to actually play CDs, which is great. Unlike Windows 95, but I have to do it track by track. It's a little odd. I'll show you guys what I mean. I'm going to play a few seconds of a track because this is going to be copyrighted. If it'll play, come on. All right, that's enough before the copyright thing finds me. But as you can see, it worked. Although I think something is definitely a little odd with the audio quality because it sounds very compressed, almost like it's a 64 kilobit MP3. That could be just, again, down to the fact that it's a VM and maybe I need to change the audio settings or something to get that to actually be full quality, but I'm not really super worried about that right now. So, but it does work. We can play a CD. And so we're going to talk about CD ripping. Again, it might technically be possible with Winamp to rip a CD, but unfortunately, we're going to run into the same problem that we had in Windows 95, and that is going to be the fact that it's not going to recognize the CD or the tracks, so you would have to manually put in the tags, which again is not something I relish. So the next thing I want to try is simply playing a DVD, because I do have VLC installed on Windows 98. I was able to make that work, so I have to actually manually eject my CD and my host OS to get the disk to change. So I'm going to go ahead and put a video DVD here in the a video DVD. Jeez. Talk like just a movie, and see if we can get that to play in Windows 98. It gets picked up. Okay. Come on, read it. It's not audio CD. Just make sure I got that as the physical one. Yeah, okay, great. Physical drive. Still reading it as an audio CD for some reason, even though it's a DVD in there. Let's just try rebooting the VM real quick. Restart. Maybe that'll get it to recognize the DVD as it actually is. Again, this could be due to the fact that this is a VM and not a physical box. I'm not really blaming the operating system for this. There we go. Here we go. Ah, there we go. Okay, now that we've rebooted this thing, let's try to play the DVD here in Windows 98 and VLC, and let's see what happens. Look at that. Let's just try, you know, clicking around here. See what we get. We're not going to play very much of this because obviously it's copyrighted and full of vastly inappropriate material. So, look at that.
Holy shit, dude.
Whoops. One curse word got in there. Stan your potty mouth. Tisk, tisk, tisk. So, anyway. It works. So, it gets the point. Finally, we get a point for something that we didn't get in Windows 95. So, it gets the point. So, obviously, this is not going to run any current browsers, and I most certainly would not recommend doing any online bill pays with it, so it's going to miss that point. Next question is Office documents or Office productivity. How does it work for that? Well, clearly, we've got a newer version of OpenOffice here, and unsurprisingly, it's going to work just fine. There's that, which is, and of course, let's see, I think Calc. Okay, I guess that's their spreadsheet. Yep. Boring spreadsheet. You know. Oh, do we do this? Okay, we do that. Ooh, what's the value there, Johnson? Oh, it's that much? Okay. Fantastic. So, awesome. There is my masterpiece of a spreadsheet. So let's see what formats this version of OpenOffice lets us save as. Looks like, yeah, that. So let's call it test. Yay. Yeah, don't care. So yes, I want to save it in that format. And there we go. We have an Excel format spreadsheet, and wow. And then we have this awesome Word document. And we'll save this as, let's see, it's the newest version of Word doc wheel. I guess this one, whatever. Save. And there you go. Fabulous. Okay, so obviously it gets a point for Office documents. Reading PDFs. Well, here's those PDFs I copied over. And this time I decided to use Adobe Reader instead of Foxit. And as you can see, seems to read PDFs just fine. Here's the one created from my computer the other day. Even though it gives me this warning, it still shows everything here, which is fabulous. So, oh, look at that. We found one that we can't open. Let's try opening that in Foxit. Let's not set it as default yet, but let's, okay, so I guess Foxit actually is better than Adobe Acrobat version 6. So it was obviously able to read this. So ironic that Windows 7 is when this was written, Windows 7 was the newest version of Windows. So because this is from 2009, so that kind of makes sense. So yeah, okay. PDFs, reading PDFs, it most certainly gets a pass for that. And creating PDFs. Well, can we create a PDF? Well, let's see here. Let's just go to Google's homepage. Don't know if the new site is going to work. Maybe it will. No. All right. Let's just do a search for Windows 98. All right, my number. Okay. Let's do File, Print. I was able to find a version of Qt PDF Writer that does work with Windows 98. Looks like it's doing something. I will save this in desktop. Yeah, that works for me. And now, we'll see how that looks. So print to PDF appears to work, but let's see if that actually opens. It doesn't seem to love it. Or does it? Does it? Let's close this. Close that. Let's try this again. That didn't work so well. Is it blank? No, it's not blank. Let's try it in Opera. Maybe it'll work better in Opera. Do a search for Windows 98. Okay, I don't even see a print option in the menu here. What happens if I hit Control P? Hey, that works. All right, fabulous. Well, I'm going to give PDF printing a fail, actually. Unfortunately, it did not work out so well. Video editing is, again, maybe technically possible, but doesn't really work particularly well in Windows 98. I'm actually going to show that off in my next video because I have to have something from Windows ME to do. So we will get there because largely the results are going to be identical as they are for Windows 98. But I will show off a bit of video editing stuff in Windows Millennium Edition. But anyway, whatever. Let's go on to our next task, which is email. Email. Will Gmail load? I don't know. So let's find out. Okay, nothing much seems to happen in Firefox. Let's try. All right, well, we do get a login screen in Opera. What do we get in Firefox? Not much. I'm guessing Internet Explorer is going to be a complete failure. Unsurprisingly, it is. Firefox definitely does not seem to work. So, yeah. Okay. All right, guys, let me pause real quick, and I'm going to attempt logging into Gmail. Okay, folks, well, I was able to actually load the basic HTML version of Gmail in Opera, so that's impressive that I was able to actually get it to work. I went ahead and just went into my trash on my email because I don't want to show any emails with any personal information in it. So, yeah, I mean, this totally works fine. So I'm going to give, for email, I'm going to give Windows 98 a partial point. I'm going to give it half a point because all of the features of Gmail don't work in this basic view, but it sort of works. So I'm definitely going to give it a half point for email. So let's take a look here. Drag my spreadsheet over. And let's see, 98. I'll just type half point. That's something. Okay. So next thing that I want to try is a bit of nostalgia, and I talked about this a bit in my Windows 95 video. I'm going to do my best to try to make I'm going to do my best to make hard radio work, which is, of course, was the first streaming, audio I ever heard in my life. Okay, doesn't work in Opera. Let's try it in IE6. I suspect no. Okay, well, it did a search for it. Okay. Let's try Firefox. I'm guessing no. Okay, so that one doesn't work. Now, last thing we're going to look at is just general web browsing, like we did in Windows 95, but instead of doing a search for Windows 95, we'll do a search for Windows 98. We'll do it in Firefox first. Wikipedia apparently doesn't work in this version of this works. So, oh no, they're giving some serial numbers used with 98-second edition. Just remember, kids, software piracy is bad. eBay. Let's see if eBay works. Huh, what do you know? Oh, sort of. Not really. Okay, so let's see if we can do an image search. If we click images, if that works. It does. It's pretty good. Not bad. All right, cool. Well, we got the weird. Let's see if I click the image. If image search half works, I guess it doesn't really work great. So, all right, no big deal. Let's try this out in Opera. See what we get. Okay, Wikipedia doesn't work. Let's try this site. Okay, kind of works there. Okay, not that one. Not really. And let's just try an image search. And if I click the image, okay. So, no big deal. Let's see if Google News works. Since we do seem to have slightly better luck with browsing than... No, that really doesn't work. All right. So let's just go to Google's homepage and see how that does. Let's see if we can click on news. Now that menu doesn't even come up, so whatever, no big deal. Let's see how it works in Internet Explorer 6. I suspect not well. So, see what happens when I click news. Yeah, nothing. Okay. Let's just type Windows 98, see what we get. Wikipedia work? No. No, that doesn't work. So, you know, a lot of these sites really aren't going to... Okay, so basically nothing works in IE6. Okay, not exactly the biggest shocker of all. So that pretty much wraps this up. We tried out all of the tasks. So I'm going to go ahead now and tally up the score, and we're going to compare it to Windows 95. So Windows 95 was only able to complete really 2.5 tasks. Okay. It could, in Windows 95, it had Office document functionality. It could read PDFs, and it got a half point for general web use. It failed every other task. Windows 98 gets a couple of more points, but not significantly more. It does okay with playing DVDs. It passed that. It passed Office Docs, reading PDFs. For email, I'm giving it half a point. And for general web use, I'm going to give it also another half point. So total points for Windows 95 for, quote, modern use is 2.5. And again, these are out of 14, so keep that in mind. 2.5 out of 14. And Windows 98 is 4 out of 14. So an improvement, but not a giant leap forward. So that's basically it for this video. In the next one, I'm going to be talking, of course, about Windows Millennium Edition, but I'm probably not going to test any of the web functionality since the browsers that run on Windows Millennium Edition are literally identical to what runs in Windows 98. I'm going to confirm that before I skip those tests, but if the browsers are exactly the same, there's really no point in recreating some of these tests in Windows Millennium Edition. But we will take a look at it and we'll talk about it a little bit. So that's pretty much it. Again, like always, I hope you guys found this informative or at the very least somewhat entertaining. I hope you enjoyed. If you are new to the channel, please take a look around. Consider subscribing if you like what you see. That's basically it. So, as always, live long and prosper. Keep on rocking.